Hi, 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 hi. How are you? Casey Durango here of Go Keto with Casey. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your Saturday or whenever you're viewing this if it's on replay. I talk about the ketogenic protocol and how I lost 97.4 pounds after starting it and how you may be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life like I did. And a couple of things, housekeeping. Sorry, I advertised this and forgot to put the visibility as public. So if people, until just a few minutes ago. So if anybody clicked on it and got this video is not available, that was my bad. Sorry. And also, I'm on a new device and hopefully you can see and hear me. Unfortunately, my Blue Yeti microphone cable crapped out on me. So the sound may be different and not as good. So apologize for that. All right, let's jump on in. Today's topic, as the thumbnail read, keto and travel. It can be done. Oh, and hello, y'all, for chiming in. Soup was so lonely. I looked up and there was nobody. It was because it was unlisted. Um, so today's topic is very germane to me right now because I'm getting ready for a big trip. First thing tomorrow morning, getting on a big airplane with my old man, and we're heading to Colombia, South America. My first time being there. It is my husband's home country, but this will be my first time going. So I've been asked, because there are people who know I'm traveling, people in my Patreon group, and just other people who glean from posts and Instagram stuff. Hello, thank you for the hearts. Will I be able to stay on plan while I'm traveling in Colombia? The answer is emphatically yes. How do I know this? Well, because you can stay on plan in any country. You can stay on plan. Um, all you do is lay off the carbs, and there's meat and poultry and seafood and fish. So there's plenty to, and non-starchy vegetables just about everywhere, other than like in a Dunkin' Donuts. You can't go into a Dunkin' Donuts and stay keto. Sorry. Unless they sell sandwiches without the bread, but why would you walk into a Dunkin' Donuts for that? Anyway, yeah, I will be able to. How else do I know? Because my husband has traveled back and forth to Colombia several times. I've been on this protocol for 9.5 years. He's been on for just over 9 years. He just saw what was happening with me and said, I'm going to do that too, because I think that makes sense health-wise. And so he's gone and he's done it. And then, as a matter of fact, he's got other people doing it as well down there. He's really impacted some people's lives. And I'm talking really impacted their health. There was a man that he knows because, he owns a local business, who was essentially bedridden or chair-ridden, couldn't really walk around. Terrible situation with one of his legs, and was told by the doctor, sorry, there is nothing we can do about it. So my husband said, well, why don't you try this? It can't hurt. The guy's up and walking around, doing his stuff, no issues. And now this man is telling his daughter to do it. It can be done, even in a country like Colombia, where rice and beans and yuca and papas and all other sorts of starchy foods are the norm. Arepas. Oh, I love arepas. But it can be done. You just lay off the carbs and you eat the carne molida, carne asada, el pollo, con el piel, el pavo, pescado, camarones. Just lay off the carbs. So it can be done. It can be done if you're just on the highway going down I-40 towards, your in-laws' house for the holidays. Because this time of year, keto and travel and keto and the holidays can go hand in hand. So back in the bad old days with me, travel was all about food. And I don't mean like celebratory food. I mean, like, I get to eat more and different stuff. Go on a car trip. As soon as we're out on the highway, I'm like thinking, okay, how many stops will it take before we see a restaurant that I really want to eat in? Not because I was hungry, not because I needed it, not because I was at risk of being underweight. I was very big, but it was forefront. As I've said before, back in that day, food was in the driver's seat with me. And when you're going down the highway, it was like actually in the driver's seat. I wanted to pull off an exit and go to, I don't know, a Golden Corral or, Shoney's or whatever there might be. Now food is not in the driver's seat. It quickly moved to the passenger seat when I started doing this. And then it's not even in the way back anymore. It's in a trailer being towed behind my vehicle. It's not an issue. So let me explain how I learned and how I have practiced the ketogenic protocol for now these 9.5 years. Keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day, total carbs, not net carbs. Net carbs means more carbs. If it's not on page 4, link below, don't eat it. But you don't need a food list. Eat fatty sources of protein, non-starchy vegetables in limited amounts, and full-fat dairy in limited amounts. That's it. But the main thing is, don't eat if you're not hungry. Most challenging part. Second most challenging, stop eating when you've had enough. And I recommend, highly recommend, to do that part, that stop eating when you've had enough. Eat very slowly. I don't mean chew your food 50 times before swallowing. Put the utensil down between mouthfuls. One thing, it's not attractive to see someone who is like, shoveling food into their mouth. Not pleasant to, they're putting food in their mouth before the mouthful that they already have is even to their throat. But if you eat very quickly, the leptin, the satiety hormone, doesn't have time to get to your brain and say you've had enough. So slow down. And then I've added, be patient and persevere. Our third born, our son, is staying here, and he and his wife will be coming down. They live up in Asheville to take care of Jack. Can you see Jack? Is Jack in his? No, where is Jack? Jack, oh, he's asleep on the floor. And our chickens and the house. But he travels for work. And so I picked him up at the airport last night, and he flew in from New Orleans. Now, our son has gone back on keto, he says, and he's very pragmatic. He says, I do better when I'm on keto. As soon as I eat a potato, everything goes to crap. He feels badly. He feels sluggish. He feels like he has edema. He does not feel good. He feels better on keto. So, and he has a meter and everything that he bought. He brought it with him. So we're talking on the way back from the airport. And he said, the thing about keto is travel is hard. Societal pressures. He's recognizing that the thing from, and this was a business trip. So he was with business, his team or his clients for dinner. And it was New Orleans. He says it's a challenge to find something that is not breaded in New Orleans. There was breaded alligator. So he could get fatty sources of protein, but it came encased in breading and fried. But he did. He persevered, and he ordered a ribeye. The only size they had was 16 ounces. So then he came across, he said, the hardest part is not eating if you're not hungry and stopping when you've had enough. I said, wow, I wonder if I've ever heard that before. He said, well, he doesn't want to waste the food, and he was not embarrassed, self-conscious about ordering it and then eating a quarter of it. And he was not going to take it back to the hotel. He said, I don't need utensils there. What am I going to do in the middle of the night? No. And he had a very early flight out. So we ate the whole thing. Traveling can be a challenge. Even if when we can identify the foods that are okay for us to eat, we have to be okay with leaving some on the plate if we are no longer hungry. Send it back. Sometimes the busboys, they'll eat it. Get it to-go bag. We actually have our own reusable to-go boxes that on the rare occasions we go to a restaurant, we'll just take it up, environmentally conscientious, bring it back. And some people will do that at the beginning of their meal. They'll order it, cut it in half, put some away, and then they're not tempted to eat more than they require. Traveling can be done. Tomorrow, we leave crack of dawn. I doubt that I'm going to have any food before I go. I haven't had any solid food today. And it's getting to the point where I'm just generally eating later in the morning and not eating that much because I require less fuel because of my stage of life, my age, my body composition, etc. We will travel to Miami and then from Miami to Pereira, Colombia. We'll arrive there about 2:15 to Pereira. And I don't think I'll eat anything in the airport. I know I won't eat anything on the airplane because they generally just have cookies and pretzels. If they're still serving alcohol on planes, I might get a Bloody Mary. But I'll be okay. Here's the other thing about traveling and being on keto in general. Even if you get hungry, it's not an emergency. It's not like back in the day. My son confirmed this. He says back when he was a sugar burner, if he got hungry, he was not a nice person to be around, not pleasant. And my lovely mate is the same way. He used to get hangry. But now it's just different. Now it's just, oh man, I'm hungry. Okay, well, I'll eat later. And I'm not at risk of passing out if I don't eat. I'm healthy. So keep in mind that if you're traveling, you don't have to pack a cooler full of food for a 3-hour car ride. And you don't need to panic about what if I go 4 hours without eating on a long flight? It'll be okay. Now you can take things with you, you know, beef jerky. Don't take boiled eggs on a plane because an enclosed environment, you will not be a popular passenger. But there are other things, cubed cheese, if you really feel like you're going to want to eat something. I'm not going to bother with that because it's more trouble than it's worth to me, for me, at this point. But car travel, train travel, plane travel, being on a cruise. I've been on 2 cruises in my life. I lost weight both times. And cruises have a lot of food available. It can be done. It can be done. Just decide, my advice is decide that the adventure of travel is the exciting part. The food shouldn't be the exciting part. The food is fuel. And yeah, different places might have, new, I assume I'm going to be exposed to new smells and aromas and certainly to different scenes and colors and ways of prepping food than I'm used to. And it'll be fine. That'll be exciting, but the food is not going to be the centerpiece of my trip. Experiencing this with my lovely mate will be. He'll get to show off his country to me for the first time. And while we're there, as a matter of fact, a week from today will be our 43rd wedding anniversary. So I guess it's about time I go to his home country. It can be done. And as my son pointed out, he said for him, he's realizing preparation is key. Just kind of mental preparation. Okay, I'm going to go to a restaurant. Usually we can kind of see what's available, online menus, not always, but very often. Okay, look, scan it. And also he will be preparing himself that, okay, I don't need to eat all 16 ounces of the ribeye if I've had enough. Send it, give it to somebody else, send it away. Let the server clear it and someone in the kitchen will eat it. And that sounds skeevy, but those of you who have worked in restaurants, that's what it is. If you've worked in the kitchen piece of restaurants. Or just let it be. And he said, well, I hate for it to go to waste. I said, better it should go to waste, W-A-S-T-E, than go to waste, W-A-I-S-T, because either way, it's going to be gone. If you eat it all, it's gone. If you give it, to somebody at your table, it's gone. If you bring it home in a doggy bag and give it to Jack, it's gone. If you throw it in the garbage, it's gone. Now, it feels terrible to waste stuff, but it'll be okay. And feel free to ask to order off menu. Not every restaurant will do it, but he was going to get a filet, but needed more fat than that. I said, well, you could ask them to have a side of charcuterie, cheese, or wrap it in bacon or something. They won't always do it, but don't be afraid to ask. You're not being a troublesome customer, particularly if you're a good tipper. So travel should be fun and should not start a big fight with yourself about food, or not to set yourself up for feeling bad about yourself when you return from the trip. Oh, I was doing great and I had every intention of just staying on plan, and then the dessert cart came by. Prepare yourself. Stick with it. Focus on the things that should be the important part of your travel, whether it's business, pleasure, family reunion, which sometimes may or may not be pleasure, and go with it. Do what you know works for you and try to avoid doing those things that you know don't work for you. I'm going to thank everyone at this point and tell you that you do not need to buy one product to be 100% successful at this protocol at all. There is no food product that will do this for you. It's not the presence of any particular food product. It's the absence of the carbs. This is not a high-fat diet. This is just not a low-fat diet. Keep your carbs, 20 grams or fewer. Eat fatty sources of protein. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. That said, I will sell you this green book. They sell every month. I'm always tickled. Some people take them and get them spiralized to make them easier to write in. But it's a 12-month journal, habit tracker, quotes, mood trackers, coloring pages. You see this at Amazon. Go to my blog, KCDurango.com. Link below. And say a link and you can get it. And t-shirts. I can and I will. And believe me, if I can do this, you can do this. And you can see links to the items below on my spread shop. Lots of different varieties. And Patreon. I have a private support group at patreon.com, some of whom I know are already here. Thank you for that. The 7-day free trial, if you're interested. At the pledge level, you get weekday morning snippets, which I will be doing from Colombia every weekday morning. The only thing that might impact it is if I have a little bit of trouble connectivity on a couple of places we're traveling, but I don't think that will happen. So weekday mornings, morning snippets, topics usually suggested by patrons, and up from there, a handful of patron-only live streams on Crowdcast. 7-day free trial. If you like it, you can stay. If you don't, I appreciate you trying me out. There we go. Now I'm going to turn my attention to the comments. Judy Porterfield, good morning from Michigan. So awesome you're going to Colombia. Fun fact, it's spelled Colombia, not Columbia. A lot of people write that way. Woohoo, so excited for you. Thank you, Judy. I am too. The sound of one man laughing. Hello, finally catch you live again. Thank you very much. And for that, thank you for bringing that up. If you subscribe and hit the notification button, not only does it help my channel, thank you, but it'll let you know when I'm, posting videos live or otherwise. And the thumbs up apparently helps my channel as well. So thank you. Oh, and look what I can do. I got a new piece of equipment, and you guys probably are much more knowledgeable than I about this. But I found this out by accident during a one-on-one coaching call with somebody. I'm going to see if I can remember how I did it. Look, balloons. How awesome is that? Now, if I do this, look, confetti. And if I do this, whoa, how cool is that? I hope you guys can see that. Okay, so I'll give you guys thumbs up as well. Steve 1711, easy. Let me go see if I can scroll back up. Things go by quickly. Easy way when traveling is just don't eat. Always do this when flying to different countries. Put on eye shades, tell flight crew, do not disturb me. Go to sleep. Good tip. The Sound of One Man. Oh, Nancy Bullock, 43 years, big success of hard work and commitment too. Well, it was much harder for me to stay married to him for 43 years. I'm essentially perfect. And, he's just been a real no, of course, being facetious. Our weekly video Bible study. Hey, Scott, felicidades en tu aniversario. Muchas gracias, Señor. Mary T. I shared my steak with the resident cat in the outdoor restaurant last night. There we go. A good deed. Joni Sanchez. Good morning, Sunshine Casey. Be safe and have a wonderful time in Colombia. Yes, I intend to. Mike El Guapo. Good morning from Utah. Okay, Mike feels very good about himself. I like that. Mike El Guapo. Happy Ferret. That is awesome. Judy Porterfield. Okay, gotcha. Colombia. Doc Swingal. Hey, Cheryl. I'm sure your lovely mate is so excited to show you off and show you around. Enjoy. Well, I don't know about that. I hope so. It's hard to tell with him. I hope I don't embarrass him. Okay, Michael Guapo. I could see it. Totally cool. And look what you do if you get 2 thumbs down. Okay, it's really cool. Happy anniversary too, writes Joni Sanchez. Mary T. Good morning. This is timely. I'm in Costa Rica, staying on plan. Steak, chicken, salad, local veg. When you eat to live, overlive to eat. Freedom. Again, my son and I were talking about this, and he says he finds when he's doing keto, he just doesn't, he's really busy. He doesn't have to think about food. I said, my best-selling t-shirt is, food is not the boss of me, and that is freedom. Congratulations. In the land of the ticos, Judy Porterfield, sardines. Our weekly video Bible study. Yes, we saw the background effects. Amazing. And Mary T goes, boop. Oh, see, I'm a gesticulator. So I didn't catch it that time. I was actually talking to somebody and then balloons started rising up and I couldn't figure out how I did it. That's totally fine. But if you're counseling someone who's crying and then you have a lot of balloons going up, to sit on my hands for a while. For those of you who have asked, and several have, the 2024 calendars have been printed and are on their way. They will arrive after I'm in Colombia, but I'll be gone back in a couple of weeks. I'll get them posted and ready for sale, and I'll let you all know about it. And thank you for asking. And Judy, I had actually intended on the front cover of the cover of the calendar. I always have there's my picture in the center, and then photographic vignettes. I had intended to put a photograph I'd taken of a half-open can of sardines. I forgot to use that one. Maybe next year. Judy Porterfield, happy anniversary to you both, and a little crafty nook morning. Good morning. There's a quote in this book credited to Confucius. And let me see if I can. It might be near. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. And I think that is so appropriate for how some of us have, tried to follow this protocol. It really is keep your carbs low and don't eat if you're not hungry. I mean, actually, if you just keep your carbs low, and you can get a Google how many carbs in a serving of so-and-so and what is a serving. You don't even need page 4 or any other food list, because if you keep it to that, you're going to be eating fatty sources of protein. Don't eat if you're not hungry. And stop when you've had enough. Travel, same thing. Don't eat at all. Just say, I'm not going to be eating while I'm traveling. My husband's come back because it's a long trip back from Colombia because of the scheduling, just the way it is. It ends up being about a 19-hour trip. And my lovely mate will have a nice big meal before he boards the plane on his return trips. And he doesn't eat anything for 19 hours. And, he's not passing out. I generally have a steak ready, even if he's getting back at 9 a.m., I have a ribeye ready for him. But it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about eating too little or eating too infrequently. And Lord have mercy, if you're locked into a feeding window, travel can really make that a challenge. I don't follow that. That is too arbitrary for me. But just tell yourself you can do it. And remind yourself that if I can do this, I would put off traveling because I was so large. It was physically uncomfortable sitting in the airline seats. And, you come in from the bulkhead and you make that turn and the attendants are there and going down the aisle and people look up. And I know that they were thinking, please don't sit next to me. Please don't sit next to me. Please don't sit next to me. Because I was big and I'm short. I was round. And I would still think, what are they serving? What will they be bringing around to eat? Chocolate chip cookies, maybe? So, we get caught in this weird, illogical, twisted circle of thought. Much more fun now. And the excitement will be, I'm going to be seeing some stuff. I got a really cool camera that I guess I better learn to use today. And I plan to document some of this. I don't know whether I'll be doing a Saturday live stream from Colombia. If we're in a place that it makes sense and it does not interfere with what our plans are, I will do it because that would be pretty cool. But I don't know. So I'll let you know. And I might do, and I think I brought this up last time. I might have a sub stream on my channel, Beyond Keto with Casey. Someone wrote Casey Beyond Keto. That's kind of an interesting thing. But doing something, the whole point of feeling better, losing weight, resolving joint pain, being able to fit into airline seats. The whole point of doing that is to move beyond that. I heard a quote. There was someone who suffered a tragic situation and was asked, how are you doing? And they replied that every step forward I take is a step away from that. So everything I do going forward with things I maybe wouldn't or couldn't do before is getting me further away from those dark days. I think that's as good a reason as any to lay off the carbs. And remember, it's about the people or the adventure or the solitude that you enjoy or the meditation. None of those things have to do with, they don't have to have food involved. And if you are visiting people, remember, people over pretzels. That's a little saying I'm kind of testing, thinking of making a sticker or a mug or a t-shirt about that. Meaning the people should be important. The food is there. But the point of interacting is not eating. Although sometimes I did approach it that way. So thank you very much. I'm going to start packing. And we've got some other chores to do around here. And wish us luck. Bon voyage. And I will be checking in a little bit as it makes sense from Colombia, either live or just uploading some quick videos about what I'm seeing. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember, if I can do this, you can do this. Get in front of the event. Be prepared mentally. That's emotionally and mentally. And stick to it. Okay, thanks. See you next time I see you. Adios.